All right, this morning as we get into it here, snow and wind, that's pretty much the story as we continue on all the way into the noon hour, holding on to hazardous travel due to slick roadways and poor visibility. We could see blowing snow getting into your forecast as well as the possibility of slick spots, and I'm talking black ice, melting snow on the forecast because it is so cold outside. We're holding on to the 20s widespread, but it feels like the teens as that wind chill continues to kick in, and that'll stay with us all the way to the morning hours. Getting into this, though, the worst conditions will be north of I-90 and during the morning commute. Let's go ahead and take Storm Runner to give you an idea of what's happening out there right now. And as this continues, I'll show you what's happening with my graphics here, holding on to the possibility of, again, looking at the possibility of, again, holding on to those wet roadways in the early morning, those breezy and gusty winds, as I mentioned before. Someone's going to get arrested out there. All right, so let's get off of this and get back into the forecast, show you what's happening out there. But you get a hint of what it's like out there on the roadways. And again, the snow will come back in within the next hour. Let's go ahead and take my stuff full, and we'll show you how this all shapes up. We get away from this, giving way to the possibility of, again, all along I-90 as well and up along I-90 up to the north. We get into the drive safely conditions here for you. As you can see, you may have some poor visibilities with frost developing on the lens here, or I should say on your windshield. You're going to also be seeing the possibility of 30s in the forecast with some light snow in the forecast continuing on to the morning, tapering off by the 8 o'clock hour. Similar conditions for Eau Claire as well, where you're seeing at least a little bit of heavier snow. They've been in the mix since the midnight hour, holding on to depleting snow, finishing out for the day. Why? Because you can see they're getting the heavier stuff up there up to the north. Big snow up there, possibly 2 to 4 inches of snow for them up by Rice Lake, getting into Rusk County as well, and all of Pierce County as well. And working back to us, we're going to see maybe less than about an inch or so in the forecast to finish out the morning hours. We'll also take a wider view. We were talking about a little bit of winter travel. You can see now the west is picking up some of that and going to the Intermountain West. Some more moisture is coming in off the west coast, but everybody's dry now, going through the plain states, working back down to Texas, all the way down into areas by Memphis, Tennessee, going through Tennessee, and of course all the way down to the southern states as you get down to that SEC County conditions out there for those folks. They're all drying out. We'll hold on to the possibility of mostly cloudy skies to cloudy conditions in your forecast with temperatures up to 33 degrees or below. We'll see down to areas right by Prairie du Chien. That's one of the warmer spots. That keeps changing on me. 34 degrees for you, all the way up to Westby, about 30 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies for the area down there. Then they pick up more cloud cover once you get into La Crescent and La Crosse, holding on to 32 degrees there. We'll track it over towards Sparta. A little heavier snow there for you. Black River Falls holding on to some lighter snow. You'll see 32 degrees for you today. Melrose holding on to some heavier snow. And then once you get all the way up to the north, Osseo, lighter snow holding on there. Breezy and gusty winds will ensue. You're holding on to mostly cloudy skies to partly cloudy skies as you get right into areas by Fall Creek. But Eau Claire will have cloudier skies. Snowfall to be light to moderate, giving way to heavier snowfall up there by Ladysmith, and that continues on. You'll see the snow continue to track with the mix of snow in the purple. You see the rainfall out there towards Oshkosh. We are in the snow right now, and that continues to track as we go through the morning hours. By the time we get in the noon hour, most of the snow is pretty much done. You'll see that continue to push out as all that wind starts to erode the snow. It starts to take over with those wind gusts of 50 miles per hour. Continuing on, the snow gets all the way out to Lake Michigan. Ladysmith still has a little bit of that, but you can see the clouds starting to break apart, taking us into mostly cloudy skies to partly cloudy skies to finish the day, and then coming back with more clouds to finish out the nighttime. We're seeing 20s in the forecast. This morning, about an inch or two of snow up to the north, and then down to the south, we're looking at maybe about an inch or less in the forecast. We'll hold on the highs for Thursday. You're looking at mostly cloudy skies, breezy winds still holding on with a 20% chance of showers. We've been talking about dry conditions most of the last few days for Thanksgiving, but you have a 20% chance of showers getting into the forecast with widespread 20s. Sorry about that, but you get into Friday, you're going to hold on to 20s, and of course, you'll see these conditions to be like this. A 29% chance for tomorrow. I should say a 20% chance tomorrow with 20s in your forecast for tomorrow. So cold conditions, cold on Friday as well with mostly cloudy skies and dry. We'll get into Friday night, turning into more snow, coming back into Saturday with an 80% chance of snow coming back again. That's going to be at least light to moderate snow. That continues on with colder air. Then we drop the temperatures down to the 20s and the teens as we go from Sunday into Monday with drier conditions, about a 20% chance. And for now, we're holding on to drier conditions to finish out for Monday and Tuesday. We're looking at some good snow, but that mostly tracked to the east. We could have some snow coming back by Tuesday night, though, and maybe going into your Wednesday morning. But for now, it's up in the air. That's a look at your forecast. Back to you, Brooklyn.